Yo, what's going on, guys? Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. So, this topic in particular is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and because I feel like it's very valid to talk about this because the direction that WWE is going in now with these two characters, it'll be interesting, to say the least. Because like the I'll get into it right now, but anyways, before I do, like, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, so pretty much, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, with Seth being betrayed by the Vision, with him being, you know getting stabbed in the back, is he now gonna return as a face? He's injured right now, so we don't know when he's coming back. um he's dealing with a real life injury, but also like kayfabe injury as well. Um, so who knows? Like, is he coming back soon? And and as a face, or is he coming back still as a heel? Um, because here's the thing. For me, I don't really know how they were trying to portray Seth. I've talked about this before, but it's like, to me, I've always seen Seth since WrestleMania 41. I've always seen him as an anti-hero or like a tweener, right? Because he never really came off as a full-on heel to me. Like, most of the stuff that he was saying was true, and he never really did anything wrong. Like, besides maybe a couple of things, but that's it. You know, like, he didn't really do anything bad. So that's why, to me, he was always like a tweener. Even when, at WrestleMania, since WrestleMania 41, I don't know if fucking Triple H, because he doesn't know how to write heels and faces. And it's like, it feels like almost everyone is just a tweener. um I don't know how he was trying to portray this guy. Was he trying to write Seth as a heel or as a tweener? I don't fucking know. But either way, he came across as a tweener to me. But if he was trying to portray him as a heel, then is he gonna come back still as a heel, or is he gonna all of a sudden be back and he's a face now? Like, I don't fucking know. Because the thing is whenever someone gets injured, usually when someone takes time off and they come back, they return. And if they were a heel, they come back as a face. I was making a video. That's fine. Yeah, like, usually when someone gets hurt in WWE, they come back as a face. Or just in general when they take time off. And so that's why it's like, is he gonna come back as a face? I don't know. But with Becky Lynch was like, the thing is, I don't see her turning face anytime soon. Like, I've always seen her as a full on heel because she's being portrayed that way. She actually is like being portrayed as a full on heel. With Seth, it was like, this guy's like pandering to the crowd, and he's like, telling the crowd to sing a song and chant his name, and like, this guy's like, showing love to the crowd, and just like speaking facts for the majority of the time and not really doing anything wrong. He didn't attack random people out of nowhere, and he wasn't like, just like, most of the time he wasn't being like a piece of crap for no reason. So it's like, or for no valid reason, I should say. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like Seth, he was more like he was being portrayed as a tweener, whether that was intentional or not. But with Becky, you could tell she was like a full on heel, and that's why, despite me not liking Becky, I could at least appreciate her heel work, because she actually felt like a heel. Her heel work, like, she's doing great with it. She actually feels like a heel, and she does the part well. So with her, it's like, is she gonna be a face now? Like, not right now, anytime soon, because I feel like she's gonna continue being a heel, because like, you probably could have questioned that maybe before, like, before we saw Becky Lynch last week on Monday Night Raw. after Seth got betrayed. But once we saw, last week on Monday Night Raw when Becky Lynch was like attacking Maxine Dupree, it caused a DQ with the title, and then was attacking her after the match. I think it's safe to say they're gonna keep her as a heel for a while. But who knows? Maybe before Seth returns, they end up turning her face, like like they pretty much like I don't know, a couple of weeks before Seth even comes back, they turn her face, out of nowhere. Like that could happen. Like I don't think it's gonna happen like a couple of weeks from now. I think maybe if anything, it'll be like a month or more. But for now, I think they're gonna keep her as a heel, and have her be that way. But maybe before Seth comes back, they could turn her face again, or maybe when he comes back, and if he's a face now, then they'll have her be face, because I'm sure Seth and Becky, they want to be the same. They because what a coincidence, right? Whenever Seth, he becomes more villainous after WrestleMania 41, all of a sudden Becky Lynch becomes more villainous too. Like all of a sudden, I mean, it's like literally 2 days later. So I think it's fair to say that they're just doing the same shit as each other. Like just whoever's face, I'm gonna be the same way. Whoever's heel, I'm gonna be the same way. Whoever's this or that, I'm gonna be the same way. It's pretty obvious. But I think what's it called? But I think if Becky Lynch ends up being a face before Seth comes back, Seth might be like, he might go to Triple H and be like, hey, make me be a face because my wife is a face now. Or if Becky's still a heel and Seth ends up returning as a face, Becky might go to Triple H and be like, hey, make me a face now too, because I want to be a face like my husband. So that could be the case as well. Either one of those things are possibilities, but it's just questionable because we really don't know for sure how long Becky's gonna stay a heel. She's been a heel for a while now, since after WrestleMania 41. Well, actually before WrestleMania 41, because she was the one that attacked Bayley. That was supposed to be her heel turn. But she was still secretly a face, and then we finally saw her heel turn on screen when she attacked Lyra. But pretty much during that time of WrestleMania 41, she turned heel. So now, it's she's been a heel for a while now. Who knows how long she's gonna continue being that way? She could be that way for another month, another 2 months, 3 months. Before, because who knows how long Seth is going to be gone. Seth might come back 2 months from now, and she might still be a heel. But if not, maybe she might be a face now, and then Seth turns to a face. So I don't know. I think it just depends on who ends up staying. I think it all depends on Becky Lynch, really, to be honest. If Becky Lynch stays a heel, then I would imagine Seth is going to pretty much be the same. He's going to continue being the same way as a character, being portrayed the same way, or at least a little more heelish if they're actually trying to portray him as a tweener. I don't fucking know, but you get my point. Anyways, so it just depends, It depends how long Seth's going to be gone, and mostly on Becky Lynch, if she's still a heel. Because at this point, the thing with Becky Lynch is people were questioning, people were like, wait, didn't she attack Becky, didn't she attack Maxine Dupree last week on Monday Night Raw? People were saying that, and then now she's confronting Paul Heyman for what she did to her husband. People are like, oh, it's just a face turn. I mean, that doesn't even I doubt it, because why would they randomly have her still be a heel towards Maxine Dupree that same night and then turn her face randomly out of nowhere in a backstage segment? That's how they do it? Just randomly out of nowhere? Because I'm pretty sure people still see her as a heel. And some are probably confused on whether on what she is now at this point because of that backstage segment with Paul Heyman. So if they randomly just be like, "Oh yeah, she's a face now," present her that way, that would just people would be confused and shocked. Like, what the hell? That's just random and out of nowhere. The fuck, you know? Like they could have presented it way better than that. Have her turning face, um, in a way better way. Like you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like Becky Lynch, she was like confronting Paul Heyman, and people were like, "Oh, is she a face now?" Bro, like no, she's not a face because they're not gonna. I mean, like as much as I give Triple H crap, and especially with him using AI now, bro, I'm pretty sure this guy's not just gonna randomly turn her face in a backstage segment with Paul Heyman after he literally just had her attack Maxine with the title, causing a DQ, and then brutally assaulting her more after the match. So I doubt he would do all that and then just randomly turn her face in the backstage segment on the same night. That doesn't even make sense. Like I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be. He's still gonna want Max. He's still gonna want Becky to be a heel. So that's pretty much how the direction she's in right now. She's still gonna be a heel, but I get why some people would feel that way though. They would be like questioning why, if she's a face or not, because like we saw her confronting Paul Heyman and whatnot. But the thing is that Becky Lynch, she's standing up for her husband, so it's like it's not really the same as like I don't know, like if she was standing up for a random person who was attacked by a heel, right? And she like stood up for them and was like, "Oh, how dare you do that? You're you're a prick or whatever. You're a jerk." Like that would be different. But her standing up for her husband is like doesn't really make her a face. It's like because it's like of course she would do that, it doesn't like just because you care about your friends and family doesn't mean you're not a villain. Like you can still be a villain overall. Like so, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what her character is. Just like, of course she's gonna stand up for her husband. Like, of course she's not gonna be okay with him being betrayed by Paul Heyman in the Vision and getting attacked. And Paul Heyman like trash talking her husband on last week on Monday Night Raw. Of course she's not gonna be okay with that. Like that's literally her husband. But she's that doesn't make her like no longer the villain, Because it's like, of course she's gonna freaking stand up for her husband. That's her husband. Of course she's gonna take his side. So it's not really, that doesn't make her a face now all of a sudden, Because it's like, obviously she's gonna side with her husband. She's gonna be on his side. So anyways, so yeah, that's that whole thing. That's my whole thing with that. But and also like Becky Lynch, she literally said it herself. She never trusted Paul Heyman. She never liked him. She always thought he was a snake and a terrible person. She called him a penguin-faced prick. I thought that was funny. Like Becky Lynch, low-key, like she did good in that backstage segment. Like her best promos were like literally just on Nikki Bella and Paul Heyman. Like she really brought it in those things. Not that I really like her, but again, she's just like doing like when she cuts these like passionate and like really like deep insulted promos, like she does good in them, So I think she's she did great in that, and she spoke facts, that's the main thing. So but her like kind of like not agreeing with Paul Heyman being a terrible person, I can see why people would think, oh, she's a face now. But it's like, again, she's standing up for her husband, so it's not really the same, And you also got to understand that Becky Lynch, she's someone she's a heel who doesn't see herself as a heel. So, like, because, like, she's, like, basically, like, a lot of the other justified heels or, like, a lot of the other characters. Like, pretty much, like Liv Morgan, for example, right? Like, Liv Morgan's supposed to be, like, a justified heel. but she doesn't. Liv Morgan doesn't see herself as a villain. She sees herself, it's just as the good guy still. She doesn't see herself as a bad guy. So it's the same thing with Becky Lynch. She doesn't see herself as a heel, so it makes sense why she would like talk down on another heel, for being a terrible person, because she doesn't see herself as one. She does all these terrible things herself, but she still doesn't see herself as a villain. So it makes sense why she would talk down on someone else who is a villain as well. It makes sense within her character, because she's never, like, people forget, she's never saw herself as the villain to begin with. As a character, right? Her character in storyline never saw herself as a villain, because her character literally said when she turned heel that, she said, I'm not the bad guy, I'm not the villain. Bailey, she attacked me since 2019. She attacked me for 6 years. And Lyra teamed up with her. They're both terrible people. And, and so I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the villain. Everything I did was justified towards Lyra and Bailey. And she continued to even carry that for months and months. She literally kept saying, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the villain. And even, like, kind of like dissing Nia Jax too. Like, you guys remember when Nia Jax and Becky Lynch teamed up at, I don't even remember, bro. They teamed up against Jade Cargill and Tiffany. Like, literally. And pretty much, what's it called? Like, Becky Lynch pretty much was like, before the match even happened, Becky Lynch was like, me and you, Nia, we're still enemies. Like, I still hate you because you did all these terrible things to me back then. So yeah, like, so again, Becky Lynch, she doesn't see herself as a villain. That's why she's constantly talking down on all the other heels like Nia Jax and Paul Heyman, and that's why she literally justified her attack on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria after WrestleMania 41, because she doesn't see herself as a villain. She said that multiple times throughout the months. So it makes sense why she would talk down on Paul Heyman, for being a terrible person. That doesn't make her a face all of a sudden. It just makes her like one of those, like, justified heel villains who doesn't see themselves as the villains, but had valid reasons for why they became a villain. Like, that's basically her character. She's basically the same as Liv Morgan. Because, yeah, pretty much they're the same. But yeah, so Becky Lynch is not a face. She's not a face, but she might turn face though, like, very soon. Who knows? Seth Rollins, if he comes back and he's a face now, more than likely then Becky Lynch will turn face, because, like I said, they're just doing the same thing as each other, because they're husband and wife. So they're just gonna go, whoever stays what is gonna determine who the other's gonna stay what, or be what, So that's pretty much what this all comes down to. But the thing is that, like, why have Seth turn, like, heel or, like, anti-hero or whatever, like, whatever they were trying to portray him as? Because, like I said, I've always seen him as a tweener. Even if they were trying to portray him as a heel, he acted more like a tweener. I've said this multiple times, so it's like, but either way, if you were trying to portray him as, like, heelish, right, after WrestleMania 41, then why would you have him be heelish to begin with if you're just going to turn him back to a face anyways, like, months later after he comes back from injury? Like, why the fuck would you do that? That's just a waste of time at that point, bro. Same with Becky Lynch. So that's my whole issue with, like them. If they turn back face again, like, it's gonna be fucking stupid. It's gonna be a waste of time. Like, why would you even have them be heelish at that point? If you're just gonna turn them back to a face anyways, like, literally not even a year later. It's just stupid. So yeah, I think if Seth comes back and he returns from injury and all of a sudden he's a face again, Like, then why'd you turn him? Why'd you have him be heelish then? Why'd you do that? You're just gonna have him be a face again anyways when he comes back from injury. Like all of a sudden now he's like, oh yeah, I'm a good guy again. Like what? That doesn't even make sense. Like no, keep him the same way. Still have him be heelish. Keep him the same way. You might as well. You know, like him being betrayed shouldn't change anything. Um, cause like I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of like the whole like, oh I was betrayed by this person, so now I'm a good guy now. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, like now I'm morally a good guy now. I'm a hero now. Like what made you change? Like all of a sudden you got betrayed or you got attacked by heels and now you're a good guy again. It just never made sense to me how that happens. Like that never made sense to me. It works maybe a couple of times, but doing it all the damn time, it gets old after a while. So I really don't want to see Seth coming back and all of a sudden he's a good guy now. He's like shaking hands with the fans and I mean like and like fucking saving other faces now and he's cool with all the other faces, but most of the other faces don't like him still because of what he did when he was being heelish this whole year. Um, I don't want to see any of that, bro. It's just stupid. He's not gonna be liked by most of the faces anyways because of what he did, and also, um, again, like a betrayal shouldn't make him a face to begin with, Like he shouldn't just randomly switch up now. So it's like no, keep him being heelish, you know. Same with Becky Lynch. Have her be that full blown heel. So that's just how I feel personally, and that's my predictions as far as them being face or heel. Um, yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see what they're gonna be in the upcoming months. The thing with Seth too is like Seth is pretty much in the same boat as Becky. Like neither of them as their characters, with them being heelish, um, neither of them believed that they were the villain to begin with. Like, so even Seth, like even if he comes back as a face now, what much is really gonna change about him? I mean, with Becky Lynch, you could say okay, like she attacked innocent people for no good reason or for no reason at all. But with Seth, it's like most of the people he attacked were for valid reasons. Like Sami Zayn, you're gonna tell me that he just randomly like you're not gonna tell me he just attacked Sami for no reason because we literally saw Sami was the one that came out there, um, and confronted Seth, and he was like, "Oh Seth, you're just like Roman in the Bloodline, and CM Punk, you're just like them, and you're a hypocrite now, and you know, you're you're acting all self-righteous and whatever, like that's what he was saying, right? And pretty much Seth was, Sammy was like, I don't want to take your offer, I don't want to be friends with you, go to hell. And then Seth was like, okay, you want to betray me and not be friends with me and like talk down on me, well, I'm gonna stomp you. It was all justified. Like Sammy was the one that broke off the friendship and like literally like was the one um that was interfered in their business, right? He's the one that's talked crap to them and got in their business and talked crap to them and like was acting all, he was the one acting self-righteous. Sammy was the one acting all like morally all superior, even though he was the one with the bloodline, like because he was like he literally was with the bloodline for years, and now he wants to act like, oh, Seth acting the same way is a big deal now, even though you did the same shit. You did the same shit, Sammy. I don't remember you taking accountability for for the stuff that you did when you were a heel, when you were a villain in the bloodline. But now all of a sudden you're supposed to be like, you hate when Seth does the same, quote unquote, the same bloodline shit. When you came back to Roman Reigns, who never changed to begin with, you came back to crawling back to the bloodline. I mean, come on, bro. Sammy, he's the one. He was the actual person being self-righteous, bro. Like he was being a hypocrite. He was the one that was actually being a hypocrite. So that's that. So Sammy, he pretty much was the one talking crap and being a hypocrite and like acting like he never did anything wrong. And and it was the one that broke off the friendship and talked shit to Seth to begin with. So then Seth stomps him, and that was justified. Like it literally was. And CM Punk and Roman Reigns are terrible people. So whatever he did to them wasn't any different than what he did when he was being portrayed as a face. Like what the fuck? And they deserved it anyways, you know. So it's like, what? I mean, in LA Knight and like Penta, he attacked them, but it's like, it was more like competitive, you know, like being competitive for Money in the Bank. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna attack you for no reason. It was more like out of competitiveness, that kind of thing. Like really, the only things he did wrong was like what he dissed the crowd a couple of times. He dissed the crowd a couple of times, and like, he teamed with heels like Paul Heyman and Braun Reed and Braun Breaker. That's it. And maybe also, I think he also maybe. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, those are the only things he really did wrong when you really think about it. But overall, he was still, you know, acting all like a face. So now if he comes back as a full-blown face, what much is going to change about him? He was already acting like a face whenever he was supposed to be heelish this whole year. Like, I mean, it makes no difference. It's just a waste of time to have him be heelish to begin with. You're just going to have him be face anyways. A full-blown face when he comes back. It's just stupid. It's a waste of time. It's dumb. I don't know, man. And then Becky Lynch, like I said, she doesn't see herself as a villain either. So, I mean, I guess you're gonna see character change with her because she actually was more heelish than Seth. She was actually, you know, being portrayed as that like full blown heel who's just ruthless and mean. But so you're obviously gonna see character change more on her than Seth. But either way, it's like, why have them be heelish to begin with if you're just gonna have them be face again? That's my point. It's just stupid. It's a waste of time. It's dumb. I don't fucking know what's gonna happen, but I guess we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Peace. I don't know why I said it again. Anyways, I'm out.